everybody, welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be making a no zipper pillow. If you're interested in this video, keep on watching. Alright everybody, so before we get started in the video, I did want to quickly say that I would love it if you would consider subscribing and becoming part of the Has fam. Also, if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. And a quick note, I just wanted to thank everybody that has been subscribing to my channel. I'm so grateful for each and every one of you. I seriously didn't think that I would have 100 subscribers. Like, I swear I thought I would have like maybe 3 or 4. So seeing 100 makes my heart so happy. I'm so grateful, and I'm really enjoying making these videos for you guys. So if you watched my fall decorate with me video, you saw that I made some black plaid pillow covers for my living room. And I did say in the video, if you wanted a tutorial on how I made that I would get it out for you. And a bunch of you comment in that video saying that you did want to see a tutorial. So here is a tutorial. All right, everybody, let's get started with this tutorial. So of course you're gonna need fabric. You're gonna need a ruler, and you're gonna need a rotary cutter, and also some pins. Also, you're gonna need an iron. Here's my iron right here. An iron and an ironing board. So I wanted to talk to you guys a little bit about the fabric real quick. Now, this fabric is decor fabric, home decor fabric. If you go to Hobby Lobby or Joann's, they have a home decor section, and that's the fabric I typically use for my pillows, because it just is firmer. It has more structure to it than regular quilter's cotton. Now you can use quilter's cotton, you know, if you find a print that you really love, or flannel even, but I just recommend this fabric more just because it gives the pillow a lot more structure. So that's the kind I use today, and this pattern I got at Joann's a long time ago, like a year ago. So I don't know if they have this one there, but I'm sure you can find something similar. They have a bunch of fabrics to choose from. So you're gonna need two 20 by 20 cuts. So I have this one and I have this one. They're both 20 by 20. And then for the pocket part, the part that holds the pillow in, I do 10 by 20. So again, if you have an 18 by 18 pillow or a 16 by 16 pillow, any other size, you're gonna go by that size. So you would cut two 16 by 16 squares, and you would cut a 10 by 16 extra piece. So just putting it out there. I'm just gonna show you with a 20 by 20 pillow, but it's really easy to just change up the size depending on your insert. You just go by the size of the pillow. So I just wanted to make that clear. Let's get started with this project. So you're gonna take your 10 by 20 piece, and you're gonna take one of the 20 by 20 pieces. Now the other one, just put it to the side. So I'm gonna put that over there. Now, pick any side you want, since it's everything's 20 by 20. So I'm gonna pick this top side. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take it over to my ironing board, and I'm going to iron 1/4 of an inch down like this. And after I iron it down, I'm gonna flip it again one more time. I'm gonna iron another 1/4 of an inch. What this does, it's sealing the raw edge so that it won't be fraying. So I'm gonna do that to one of the sides of the 20 by 20, and I'm gonna do it to the long side of the 10 by 20. So let's go to the ironing board. All right, so I'm gonna start with my 10 by 20 piece. I'm gonna iron this top edge. So again, I'm gonna fold over 1/4 of an inch. This doesn't have to be exact. You could just kind of eyeball it. So I'm gonna fold it inward and hit it with the iron. All right, now that that's done, now you see how I ironed it down. Now I'm gonna fold it over on itself one more time, enclosing the raw edge. So here I go, folding it over one more time and hitting it with the iron. All right, so we got this one done. Now let's do the 20 by 20 piece. Remember, you're only gonna do it to one of the 20 by 20 pieces. So you pick any side, They're all the same 20 by 20. So you're gonna fold it 1/4 of an inch down and you're gonna hit it with the iron. Again, this doesn't have to be an exact measurement. Kind of eyeball it, it'll be fine. All right, so now I'm gonna fold, see I did this, folded it over. Now I'm gonna fold it one more time over like this. And I'm gonna iron it down. Here we go. All right, so I got my 2 pieces with the one of the sides hemmed. So now I'm gonna take it over to the sewing machine and I'm gonna give it a straight stitch right across to hold it down in place. So let's get to the sewing machine. All right, for your project, you're gonna use coordinating thread that coordinates with your fabric, but for the purpose of this video, so you could see the thread, I'm gonna use black and red. So I'm gonna use the black for the straight stitch and the red for the zigzag stitch. So right now you're gonna be on a straight stitch and you're gonna line your presser foot with the edge of the fabric. You see how I'm lining it up? Now I'm gonna lock my stitch, so I'm gonna start going straight like this. Straight. Now I'm gonna put the needle down, I'm gonna go reverse, I'm gonna go backwards, and this like this. Now go straight again. What this did, it's just locked your stitch in so it won't unravel. Now we're gonna go straight and just go all the way down, and you're gonna go forward and back at the end of your fabric again to lock the stitch in. So let's go straight. Now go nice and slow. This is in a race. You go nice and slow so you can get a nice straight line. As you get more practice, you can go as fast as you want. Now we're heading towards the end. Again, I'm gonna go forward and back at the end to lock my stitch in. Now I'm gonna cut my threads. Mine has a self cutter, but you could just use the scissors. All right, so that is my straight stitch right there. You see the black line. Now I'm gonna take it to the ironing board and I'm gonna press it. I love to press my seams down because it just makes it look so much neater. All right, so we finished both of our ends. Now we're gonna get the pillow all put together. This project is almost done, so let's get on to the next step. All right, so we have our 20 by 20 piece. I'm gonna turn it over right side facing up, and I'm gonna take my 10 by 20 piece and I'm gonna line this top edge, the edge that doesn't have the seam, this raw edge, and I'm gonna line it up to the top of my square. And it should line up perfectly because you cut it the same size. So it's 10 by 20 and this whole square is 20 by 20. So we're gonna line it up. You're gonna grab your pins and you're gonna pin this top spot together. Now, if you're a beginner sewer, make sure to pin because it just helps you keep everything together. If you've already been sewing for a while, you don't have to pin. I don't usually pin these kinds of projects because it's just, I don't worry about it too much. But again, if you're a beginner, don't be afraid to pin. It really does help you keep everything together. So now I'm gonna go over to the sewing machine and I'm gonna do a straight stitch and I'm gonna do a 1/2 inch seam allowance on this edge. So let's go up to the sewing machine and get started. Here at the sewing machine, and I have my fabric here all pinned up. Now, my sewing machine is a German machine, so my little markings are in millimeters, but if you have an American machine, yours might say like 1/2 inch, 1/4 inch, stuff like that. So mine, I'm gonna line it with a 10. That would be about a 1/2 inch in an American machine. So I'm gonna line up the edge of my fabric at the 10 mark, and I'm gonna put my presser foot down. Now here, again, we're gonna lock our stitch in. We're gonna go forward and then back. It's such an important step. Don't forget to do this step, because if you don't, everything will just unravel. So let's start. We're gonna go forward and back with a straight stitch. I'm gonna go back. Just gonna do the straight stitch all the way down. Remember, if you have the pins, pull them out before the needle hits the pin, because it will break your needle. So go nice and slow. You don't need to go fast. So as you're going straight, pull the pin out, and then keep going. Make sure your raw edge is lining up with a 1/2 inch line. Pulling out my pin. So we're getting to the edge, and we're gonna go forward and back to lock our stitch. Now we're gonna cut. All right, you see our straight stitch right here. Now you see all these raw edges. I like to finish this because if I throw it in the wash, it won't fray so much. So I do have a serger, and I usually run it through that. It's so much quicker. But if you are a beginner, there's no need to go out and buy a serger. They're expensive, and they're more for someone that's gonna be sewing really frequently. So what I do is I put my machine to a zigzag stitch. Now for me, I just click my machine to a number 5. But if you have a different machine, some have some knobs that you just turn, and you turn it to the stitch that you want. So just turn your machine to a zigzag stitch. Zigzag, I want to zigzag on this side of my seam. I do not want to zigzag on this side of my, then it will mess my seam allowance up. So what I want to do, I'm trying to finish the edge. So I'm going to be sewing on this side of my seam. Now I'm going to place my fabric in my machine, and usually I just line it up right here. It's a perfect spot, but there's no need to line. All you have to do is just keep the zigzag on this side of the seam. So I'm gonna put my presser foot down. Again, you have to lock your stitch. So you're gonna go forward and back. I switched my thread to a red thread so you can see my stitch as I go. So I'm gonna go forward and back. I'm gonna go forward and back. So that's forward. Now I'm gonna go back. Now I'm gonna go forward. So now I'm at the end, and I'm gonna go forward and back again to lock my stitch. And cut it. Now you see this stitch. Now this is the zigzag stitch, and this is the straight stitch. I did the zigzag stitch on the right side of my seam, and I didn't let it come to this side of my seam. So make sure you keep it on the right side of your seam. But this is how it should look. Now you could take the scissors and snip off the extra if you want. If not, that's fine. But this will help when you wash, it won't fray. So let's go and add our other piece. All right, now we're almost done, guys. So we have these 2 pieces sewn together. Now we're gonna take our other 20 by 20 piece that we hemmed. So here's the hemmed spot that we did. We're gonna line the raw edges at the bottom. So I'm gonna take these raw edges and line them with the bottom. Remember, pretty sides facing each other. So the top is not gonna meet up with this, and that's the way you want it. So just make sure the bottom raw edges are matching. All right, so I have all my raw edges at the bottom matching, and I have my hemmed and sewed piece towards the top. I'm gonna take my pins, and I'm gonna pin all along this raw edge, down the bottom, and up this side. I will not pin the top part. Do not pin this part. Just this side, the bottom, and this other raw sides. So only pin the raw sides. Now, if you're a beginner, please pin, because it's going to be so much easier for you to sew with the fabric pinned together. It's going to be easier for you to put it through the machine. You won't be like, it's more likely that you wouldn't sew through all the pieces if you didn't pin. So I encourage you to pin if you're a beginner, pin. Make sure your sewing machine is on a straight stitch again. Start on this side of our project. We're gonna have our finished edges pointing up, and we're gonna start on the right side of our project. So I'm gonna slide this into my machine. I'm gonna line it up with a 10 or a 1/2 inch if that's what it says on yours, 1/2 inch. And I'm gonna start my stitch. I'm gonna start at the top of my project, this top of my fabric, and go all the way down. Remember, you're gonna go forward and back. Let you guys know, the bottom of every sewing machine has these teeth, and it's pulling the fabric in as you sew. So you're not pushing the fabric in with your hand. Do not push it in. You're really just guiding the fabric and having it stay in line with the 1/2 inch. So don't push the fabric. The machine's doing that for you. You're just guiding the fabric. And remember to pull the pins as you go along. All right, so we're getting to our first corner. You're not gonna sew all the way down. You're gonna make a corner because you're gonna have to pivot. So you're gonna go all the way to about 1/2 inch before you hit the end of the fabric. The needle is in the fabric. Now you're gonna do this corner, so you're gonna have to pivot the fabric so that you could start sewing down the other side. You're gonna have your needle in the downward position, about 1/2 inch away from the edge, to give you room to start the next seam. So you're gonna lift your presser foot up, and my needle is still down. Pivot my fabric to the right, and I'm gonna line my edge to the 1/2 inch mark. If your fabric is over too much, that means you still have to go straight, a few more stitches straight. So you just turn it back around, you put your presser foot down, and you go a couple stitches forward, and then you pivot again and see if you lined up to the edge. As you keep sewing, this will be easy for you to eyeball, so don't worry about it. If you have to go back or forward, just do that. So I'm gonna put my presser foot down. I lined it up again with the 10 or the 1/2 inch. Now I'm gonna start sewing again, straight. So we're getting to another corner. Again, stop about 1/2 inch before you get to the edge. Now you're gonna keep the needle in the down position, and you're gonna lift your presser foot up, and you're gonna pivot to the right, and you're gonna line your edge up with a 1/2 inch again. You're gonna put your presser foot down, and now you're gonna keep going straight, making sure the raw edge is still lined up with a 1/2 inch. Now we're gonna end it right here because we don't need to sew on this side. So go all the way down and go front and back to lock your thread. And you're gonna cut your fabric. So there you did it. You sewed the whole pillow together. Now we're gonna finish the edge again. Start on the right side of my project, and I'm gonna do the zigzag stitch on the right side of my seam. I do not want to come on to the left side, stay on the right side. So switch your machine to a zigzag stitch, stick your fabric into the machine, put your presser foot down, and start stitching. Remember, you're gonna lock your stitch front and back and stay on the right side of your seam. Do not bring it to the left side. So again, at the corner, you're gonna have the needle down and you're gonna pivot. And put the presser foot down and keep on going. All right, we're at the last little piece. Remember, we're gonna lock our stitch. We're gonna go forward and back. I'm gonna cut my thread. All right, so I finished all my edges. Guys, we're done. We're just gonna clip the corners and we're gonna flip it inside out and it's ready for our pillow. Almost at the finish line, guys. We wanna clip the corners so that when we turn it inside out, we get a sharp corner. So this is how you clip the corner. I'm gonna get up close. So here is the corner. The black line is the straight seam and this is the zigzag, the red obviously. So we're gonna clip above the black line. You do not wanna clip right here past the black line because then you'll get a hole. So clip before the black line. I'll show you guys. You're gonna clip above the black line. Just like this. You're gonna clip all the corners. Flip this guy inside out. Or right side out. Pop those corners out. You can use a pencil to really push those corners out. See how it gives you a nice sharp edge? And you're gonna flip this part out. Where your pocket is. Flip it out good. You're gonna flip this part out. So there is your pillow cover. We're all done. So now you can press it if you like. I'm just gonna stick my pillow in here and see how it looks. Here's my finished pillow. I think it came out super good. I think it looks so cute. All right, everybody, so that's the end of the tutorial. I hope you enjoyed it and I hope I did a good job explaining everything. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to comment down below or message me. I will get back to you as soon as I can. And thank you all for watching. I'll see you guys next time. Bye.